I can't believe the Jeff Ruby Stakes is a 100-point Derby prep. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here again today. We're going to go over the 100-point Jeff Ruby Stakes because apparently a synthetic prep is worthy of the same amount of points as, say, the Florida Derby and Arkansas Derby. But got a full field, good sign. Full field. There's one AE. So this should be a phenomenal betting race, in my opinion. Most likely, two of these horses will get into the gate for the Kentucky Derby if the connections want, as the winner gets 100 and the second place horse will get 40. So more than enough points for two of these horses to get in. Let's first. I don't think any of these horses will be a major threat in the Kentucky Derby. I'll just start off by saying that. But I think there's some interesting long shots here. So let's dive right on into it. The number one is Royal Spirit for Todd Pletcher. And in two starts this year, he has not looked bad. He was most recently second in the Grade 3 Kittens Joy at Gulfstream. He looked decent that day, too. My one worry is that he is breaking from the rail today, so I think he does need to show that early speed, but he has been showing that in his last couple of races, especially last race. He was only a length off the lead the whole time. He actually briefly took the lead in the stretch. Price play, I think he could be worth it, but the issue is the horse right outside of him also wants to go to the lead. So I get why he's 10-1. I kind of would be surprised if he stays 10-1. I think he will take a little bit of money just because he is a Todd Pletcher horse. But I do think he's probably going to get burnt out as part of the pace scenario here. So he's going to be a toss for me, but I do think he's interesting. The number two is Stolen Base for Mike Maker, and finished second last time out to race favorite in here, Tis the Bomb. And another one that wants to be close to the lead, breaking from the two, he's going to have to go, in my opinion. So I'm expecting this pace to be more towards the fast side than the slow side. He hasn't run bad this year. He hasn't run great, but he hasn't run bad. So he's another one. He's 7-2. In my opinion, I would rather use Royal Spirit than Stolen Base. That's just me. I think 7-2 is awfully low for a horse who was soundly beaten last time by the favorite in here. I'd rather take a shot with a new shooter. But this horse, he's never really run bad. Even going back to last year, he finished seventh in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, which was a tough race. He was second in a Grade 2 last year at Keeneland. So Turf is definitely where he wants to be. I just think at a short price, I think he's one that you want to either, if you're gonna use Tis the Bomb, I think you just toss Stolen Base, as I think he covers him. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to toss Stolen Base. Might come back to bite me because always seems like when I don't bet Maker, he wins. But that's what I'm gonna do. The number three is Cabo Spirit, and I don't really know what the plan with this horse has been. He was second in the Robert B. Lewis, and then he was fifth in the San Felipe. I I don't really know why he's here. I I get why he's 12-1 on the morning line. It's kind of baffling that he shows up here, in my opinion. I definitely thought this would be a horse that they'd either keep him out there to run in the Santa Anita Derby or maybe go to like the Wood Memorial or something. Does I get that he does have some turf pedigree, but not a huge fan here. At a price, okay, but he's gonna be a toss for me. I might use him underneath though. I do like Joe Bravo on him, but I think there's too many other interesting horses in here to take a shot with a horse who so far has just shown he's not up to graded stakes company. The number 4 is Rich Strike, and he looks okay. He's been improving. He's had 2 starts this year. He only has a third. Um, he got third in his 3-year-old debut. He was fourth, not by much last time out. Did lose the Tis the Bomb. Had a rough trip though, so kind of willing to forgive him for that. But at 20 to 1, I think minor awards is kind of what you would hope for here. I don't know if he's good enough per se to turn the tables on some of the on Tis the Bomb. So I'm going to use this one as an underneath play. I think he's very interesting underneath. Uh, but as far as win, I am going to toss him. The number 5 is Tawny Port for Brad Cox. Gets Manny Franco to ship in here today to ride. And he's undefeated here at Turfway. And then they shipped him out. Cox shipped him to Fairgrounds to run in the Risen Star. And he finished fifth. He didn't run all that bad, in my opinion, considering what was in that race and considering how the race shaped up. I actually think he ran very well. My one hesitation on him is that Manny is the one getting them out. He had flow last time, so it is a bit of a jockey downgrade in my opinion. But he's 2 for 2 here at Turfway. I think he's gonna be the wise guy horse in my opinion. He's morning line 6 to 1. I don't think we see anything near 6 to 1 on him. I think you're probably gonna get half of that. Um, he's gonna be my top pick. I've actually been very high on Tawny Port all year. I liked him in the Risen Star. It didn't work out, but Connection ship him right back to Turfway where he's been running good, and they're gonna go for the Derby points here. And I just think that race, the Risen Star, I think is better than any race that any of these other horses have run in. So if he runs back to that Risen Star effort, I think it's definitely better than it looks on paper, and I think it's good enough to be a serious threat here. So he's going to be my top pick, but let's go through the rest of the field too. The number 6 is Great Escape for Rudolph Brissett. He looks okay. He's a traveler. My big issue with him is he's part of that Claiborne fraternity group that only Classic Causeway has come back to really to win. He did run second last time out to Call Me Jamal, who was supposed to run, I believe, in the Arkansas Derby before having to be a late scratch. So it's not like he ran against non-stakes horses, and even finished in front of Ignitus in his last start, who ran decent in the Derby prep too. Coscatera didn't do much running, but was in the Sunland Derby. So he does have experience against stakes horses. I am a little interested in him. I do like how Brissett brings horses up for the uh about this time as 3-year-olds. So second start off the layoff. He should improve. His first race wasn't terrible. Just still kind of iffy on that Claiborne fraternity race as it's just not coming back strong at all. So I'm going to use him underneath. I might use him on some tickets. He should be a decent price, though. He's morning line 15 to 1. I bet we get at least 10 to 1. I'm going to assume we get on him. The number 7 is Tis the Bomb. He's the morning line favorite. He won the John Patagula Memorial Stakes, which is the prep for this last time out. And he looks tough. He's been a turf horse all along. I think everybody realized that. It was weird when McPeak sent him to the Holy Bull. He did absolutely no running. He comes right back and wins his synthetic debut as a 3-year-old. He just looks tough. I think he's very hard to get around here. He was second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf last year. He won the Castle and Key Bourbon Stakes last year at Keeneland. He just very clearly prefers a surface that's not dirt. I'm going to use him as my second choice. I am going to try to get a little price with Tawny Port, but I do think Tis the Bomb is a horse you just cannot leave off in this scenario. With that said, it is tough to take a horse at a short price in such a big field, but I think that's exactly what you have to do here. I just think he's too good. The number 8 is Red Run for Asmussen, a Winchell Thoroughbreds homebred, and he he won his 3-year-old debut at Sam Houston. He did not race much that day. Somehow went off at 5-1. He did beat Stolen Base in there, who again, I'm unsure why he is the price he is. Would much rather use Red Run than use Stolen Base. He ran a huge figure in that race too. He got 101 Equibase for his 3-year-old debut, which is very solid. Gets Talamo here. I think he's a serious player. He's gonna end up being my third choice here. Uh, he just looks dangerous. As Musin knows how to win these races. I don't think this is. I think this is probably about the class level though that this horse can really compete in. I think if he steps up, not really keen on him moving forward in the Derby if he makes it, but Asmussen did think a lot of him to ship Rosario out there to Sam Houston to ride last time. So I do think there's something here. So he's going to be Red Run will be on my tickets. The number 9 is Doke. I can't even say that. I apologize. Dowakik Chief. I don't know. I'm just gonna call him D Chief. One last time out at Fairgrounds. I'm not a huge fan here. He didn't beat much at all. He had everything his own way. He went gate to wire. Um, he's gonna go to the lead. That's what most of Amos's horses do. Maybe he gets brave on the front end. I don't see it here. He's a toss for me. He's gonna be one of the. He's probably gonna be third or fourth choice in my opinion, based off his last race. He's morning line 8-1. So I think he's going to be sub 10-1. I think he's a horse that you can probably toss unless you really think he's going to go gate to wire, which I don't. So the number 9 is a toss for me. The number 10 is Optigogo. Calumet Farm homebred, sired by Optimizer. Was a huge fan of Optimizer, but I am not a huge fan of this horse. He did win his 3-year-old debut at Tampa, and then they shipped him to Santa Anita, and just no running was done at all. He went off at a huge price of 62-1. He's morning line 30-1 here. That's going to drift up. I can't imagine this horse takes too much money. He gets Bejarano. I do like Bejarano, but this horse needs to very much improve and would need a near perfect trip, in my opinion, to win here. So I'm tossing him. Not a huge fan. The number 11 is Constitutional Lawyer, who we last saw in the Withers. He was actually on my tick. It's on Withers Day, and just everything went wrong. He wasn't good enough. He tried to contest at early speed. He was broke from the inside. Nothing. However, he went off 5-1 that day. That race has come back okay with Unoho winning the Rebel. Okay, I mean, the Rebel wasn't fantastic, but he still won the Rebel. Early voting is going to the Wood Memorial. Gilded Age didn't run great in the UAE Derby, but we still have horses coming back that are running in stakes races out of that race. He was 5-1 that day, and he is 50-1 on the morning line here. I think that is crazy in my opinion for a race. For a race that then had its buyer speed figure adjusted after the race. The winner went from an 78 to an 87. So I know he did no running, but he went off at 5-1 in the Derby prep earlier this year, and now he's 50-1 here. And his pedigree is very, very good. Not sure if it's really suited for the synthetic surface, but still, I can't toss this one at 50-1. I know he's going to be probably one of the longer shots on the board. I'm just going to use him and hope that the Withers was actually a tougher race than anything that most of these horses have seen. And on class, he can maybe pick up pieces at a huge price. Uh, his maiden win was impressive at Aqueduct, so I do think there's something here. Probably not on synthetic, but the fact that they're trying synthetic with them kind of seems like it's a last ditch effort to get into the Derby. But I also don't think this field is very deep. So I do think he's got a very good chance here. So I will use him at 50-1. That's where I'm at. The number 12 is Black Adder, the former Bob Baffert trainee that is now with Rudolph Brissett. He won the El Camino Real Derby. I don't like him at all. I didn't like him going into the El Camino. He won the El Camino by not much. He won by a neck over McKinnon, who another one that I wasn't huge on. I I don't think he's that good. I understand that the connections want to try to get into the Derby. He might be better than most of this field, but I highly doubt we get 15-1. If we get 15-1 or above that, he's worth using on tickets, in my opinion. But if he gets bet down like I think he will, he is a former Baffert horse. A lot of people are saying that the Baffert horses that are transferring out are still being trained by him. If this was Baffert's name on these past performances and not Brissett's, this horse is probably 5-1. So knowing that, I'm I'm gonna use him on some tickets, but probably not all. I'm gonna hope from the 12 post. It is tough. I'm gonna hope he just comes underneath, and he's not is he needs to improve the win here. His El Camino isn't gonna win here, but easily could improve. Connection sent them here with a plan. I like quality roads actually on this kind of surface, so we'll see how he does. At 15-1 though, he is interesting. And the also eligible, we'll go over him, is Swing Shift for Todd Pletcher. And I'm not sure why this one is here. I guess it's owned by Windstar. Windstar tries to get as many horses into the Derby as possible. If they're sending this one here, they probably don't think much of him. I'm not convinced. Even if this one draws in, I want no part of him. It was soundly beaten last time by Skippy Longstocking, who is going to the Wood Memorial. Steel Sunshine is in what? Is he in the Florida Derby? I believe Steel Sunshine. And he's a huge long shot in there. I wouldn't touch Swing Shift. I don't think he's that good. He didn't do much running last time out. He's an AE in here, so even if he draws in, he's going to be a wide post. I want nothing to do with him here, even though he is a Todd Pletcher. So, with that said, my top pick in here is going to be the 5 Tawny Port. I'm gonna use Tiz the Bomb and Red Run underneath, and as a huge bomb on some pick 4 and pick 5 tickets, I am going to include the number 11 Constitutional Lawyer and the number 12 Black Adder if their prices. This Turfway card, even the undercard, all full fields, so everything should pay here. So use it going deep, and if you can go deep in a leg, if you have to go deep in a leg and hope for a bomb, you can definitely do it here. I will probably go 5 deep here and look for a single elsewhere. If not, then I will probably just use Tawny Port and Tiz the Bomb, as I do think they are the top 2 in here. But I'd hate to get beat by Constitutional Lawyer at a huge price. So for that reason, you'll make my tickets. Yeah, so that wraps up the Derby preps from this week. You can check out the video on the Arkansas Derby and the Florida Derby. They're both posted on the Trust the Profits YouTube page already. And I'll be back next weekend for the Santa Anita Derby, Wood Memorial, and Bluegrass Stakes. Good luck this weekend. I'll see you next time.